Welcome back to Real Estate 101. Today we're going to continue our discussion on home staging and talk a little bit about how to stage a child's room. And I'm pleased to be joined once again by Michelle Finnamore of Michelle Finnamore Interiors. Michelle, welcome back to the show.
Hi Joe, glad to be here.
Okay Michelle, I want to start today's show and I want to talk a little bit about staging a child's room. As we both know, moving can be stressful. Do you have any processes in place when it comes to staging a child's room?
We do, Joe, because parents have a really hard time trying to figure out how they're going to contain all the toys that are in a child's room. And we want to keep it in a model home-like condition, but we also realize the family's still living there, so we have to have processes in place, and we let the parents know it's a simple thing to do, and it's a 1, 2, 3 step process, and they're comfortable with it when we're done.
So with your processes, I mean, you must have to consider the age of the children.
You do, Joe. It's really important because even as young as 4 or 5, a child can understand that they're moving and they see their new room, they're excited about it, their parents are telling them, look, we're going to do this in your new room, you can have a new duvet maybe, new pictures, new toys. So we try and get them involved as much as possible, and the children that are about 8 to 12 years old, they really enjoy the whole process. Actually, they're there, right there with us toe to toe, they are listening to everything that we're saying, and they actually start packing up their toys when we're actually standing still in the house doing the consultation. They're quite excited about the whole process. Teenagers, you basically need to work with them a little bit more on the incentive side, that if they keep their room neat and tidy for a month, that they'll get some sort of reward at the end. Could be concert tickets, could be sports tickets, whatever that they happen to be looking for right then.
So how do you stage a child's room, Michelle?
First thing we do is actually ask the parents to take down the child's name wherever it appears in their room. And that might just be spelled out in letters above their bed, it might be accessories that are on a bookshelf, it could be on a trophy, it could be on a plaque, but we really don't want the child's name to appear in any marketing online or when people are coming through and looking at the house to buy it.
Okay, so with a lot of children, parents sometimes they build and design these theme rooms. In your opinion, do they add or subtract value from the property?
We really feel that the room should be neutral. Dark colors, especially sports colors, you get into the sports teams and that, you can get quite navy blues, bright reds, deep reds, things like that, dark oranges. They don't photograph well, so that's really the #1 reason why we want it to be a neutral palette. We really do want the room to appear large and fresh, and that's why we do paint them a neutral color. And barring that, most people, you just really can't say whether they're going to have boys or girls. So this way, if you do a neutral color and then we hang up artwork that would be appropriate for that age group, that's how we add a little bit of warmth to the room and make it feel inviting, because we want the parents to think about having their child living there in that home. So that's what we do when it comes to color.
Okay, Michelle, and what about murals? Some kids have murals in their rooms.
They do. The parents have paid a lot of money to have an artist come in and paint murals on a wall, particularly if it's for a baby or they're interested in Nemo and movies like that. They'll actually paint that on the wall. And unfortunately, we just don't know who is coming in to buy the house. We don't know the age group. So you may still think of it as a great investment, but there's a lot of people that maybe would look at it as a detraction to actually buying the house, because they know right away they're going to have to paint something over because their child's saying, well, I don't want this house because it's painted with fish on the wall.
Right.
So that's why we do ask again that we do paint out those murals. And you also have to look at it this way: how many other houses have you seen with that painted mural on the wall? Virtually none. So that's who you're going to attract with the mural. It's nice that you did it for your child and you got to enjoy it, but at this point you're trying to sell the house and you don't want to be the buyer of your own house. You want someone else to buy it, and that's why we make it neutral.
Absolutely. Okay, Michelle, so what about toys? Because obviously kids have a lot of toys. So what do you do with all the toys that they have in their room?
Yes, Joe, I've seen houses with enough toys to supply a whole classroom, so I understand completely what you mean. But the surveys show that the average child plays with about 6 or 7 toys, no matter what age group that they're in. So we do ask the children to be involved if they're old enough, and we ask them to take out the ones that they want to play with the most, and you'll find they usually pick 6 or 7. They really don't go much beyond that. And we pack up the rest of them, we let them know that we're going to unpack them at the new home, and that's how we handle that. I actually had one child recently, they had over 100 teddies, so we actually piled them all up in the corner, and we had the child make a sign saying, "Going to camp, see you in the new house," and we took a picture, and that got put onto their mother's telephone for them to look at anytime they wanted to, and it also went on their as their wallpaper on their computer, so therefore they could see all their teddies at any time, and they knew they were away at camp, and it worked out really, really well. So I'm not beyond doing things like that. But other than that, you're looking at packing up things because we do want to create space in that room. Most children's rooms can be on the smaller side, so we definitely want buyers to see them as being spacious.
Okay, so how do you do all this with the kids are still living in the house?
I know, it can be a little traumatic for those little children when they see their toys all sort of disappearing. They don't understand quite where they're going to. So we do ask that you do take care of this when they're either out at daycare, out at school, out with their friends. They really don't notice all the ones that they're not playing with. They just really notice the ones that they are playing with. I know my sister-in-law in particular, she actually packs up half their toys all the time, brings them out 6 months later, and they think they're all brand new toys. They don't remember them because they're just such small children. So that's how we handle that. If they're older, they really do need to take control of their own space. It's best if you do not pack up an older child's room because they really do think of it as their own private world, and you are really intruding onto that with them, and they take offense to it. And we're trying very hard not to upset the children, so it's better to let the older ones do it themselves.
Okay. So what about school photos and family photos, which is common in a child's bedroom? What do you do with those?
I know, they're all so beautiful, and I don't know about you, but I don't know anybody that can walk by a baby photo or even a wedding photo or group photos with family that they can't look at them. So this is why we want them put away. It's not that we don't want you to have your pride and joy out, it's the fact that we really want them looking at your house. They're only there for maybe 7 to 10 minutes, and we want them to focus on looking at your house. We really want to get your house sold quickly for you. It's uncomfortable to have people coming through your home. They're in your private spaces, so we give them as much a neutral palette to look at as possible, and that includes putting away the baby photos and the family photos.
Okay, Michelle, so any last words of advice for sellers that are preparing to put their home on the market on things to do in their child's room?
Absolutely. We want them, for the most part, to get started on it right away because it's really hard to get this done. They fret about it really because they don't want to upset the children, and we don't want to upset the children either. We want the process to go as smoothly as possible. So we do ask that you do have a chat with them if they're old enough to understand and include them in on the process, and that makes things go a lot more smoothly.
All right, Michelle, good stuff. Thanks for coming on today's show, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next month when we're going to talk a little bit about staging some basements.
Okay, Joe, thanks for having me here today. And I just want everyone to know that if you're getting ready to prepare your house for sale, on my license plate it says "Go-To Girl." Call me, I'll make sure it happens for you as smoothly as possible.
Thanks, Michelle. So if you're getting ready to sell your home, get in contact with Michelle Finnamore, the go-to girl of home staging. I'm your host, Joe Tercera. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.